Ladies and gentlemen, every one of us has faced moments where we feel like we're fighting with ourselves, not just the world around us. But the question is, why does this happen? Why do we sometimes feel like we're our own worst enemy? You're not aware of yourself. The first thing that keeps you stuck is a lack of self-awareness. You can't fix something if you don't even know it's broken. You've got to look inside and understand who you are, what you're afraid of, and why you're afraid of. Take time to reflect, because it's only by knowing yourself that you can move forward. You're not taking responsibility. We like to blame others. We like to say, if only I had more opportunities, or if only this person had done this. Let me tell you, everything that happens to you, good or bad, is a result of decisions you made. If you're struggling within, it's because you haven't taken full responsibility for where you are. Stop pointing fingers, start owning up to your life. You're afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Fear is a powerful thing. It can hold you back. You tell yourself it's safer here. If I step out, I might fail, but listen closely, nothing grows in your comfort zone. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. Fear will keep you stuck if you let it. Break free, get uncomfortable. That's where the magic happens. You procrastinate. Let me be clear, procrastination is a killer. You can sit there for days, weeks, even years, telling yourself you'll get to it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. Start now. A small step is better than no step at all. You're telling yourself you can't. How many times have you doubted yourself? How many times have you said, I'm not good enough, or I can't do it? That's the voice in your head holding you back. If you keep telling yourself you can't, guess what? You won't. But if you change the script, if you tell yourself I can, then you'll begin to see your potential. Speak to yourself with the same encouragement you would give a friend. You're not learning from your mistakes. We all fail. We all make mistakes. But here's the thing, failure is not the end. It's a lesson. If you're struggling within yourself, it's probably because you're too busy feeling sorry for yourself instead of looking at what you can learn from the situation. Failure is a teacher, don't dismiss it. Use it to grow. You lack a clear vision. Do you know where you're going? Do you know what you want out of life? Without a vision, you're like a ship without a sail, drifting aimlessly. Set clear goals, create a roadmap, know where you're going, because if you don't, you'll never get there. You're surrounding yourself with the wrong people. Look around. Who's in your circle? Are they lifting you up, or are they dragging you down? The people you spend time with have a huge impact on your mindset. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity or people who don't believe in you, you're going to struggle. Change your circle, and you'll change your life. You're not persevering. But at the end of the day, everything comes down to this perseverance. Life's going to knock you down. You're going to face setbacks. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is perseverance. You've got to keep going, even when it's tough. Don't quit on yourself. Keep pushing. Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth and development, yet it is often one of the most overlooked aspects of the human experience. Without it, we can spend our entire lives moving in circles, constantly struggling but never truly understanding why. Self-awareness is not just about knowing your preferences or what makes you happy. It goes deeper than that. It's about having a profound understanding of your own emotions, behaviors, thoughts, and how they influence your actions and reactions. It's about being honest with yourself, even when the truth is uncomfortable. You cannot change what you do not understand. Many are busy living their lives on autopilot, simply reacting to the events around them without ever taking a step back to analyze why they're reacting the way they are. It's easy to blame the external world for our struggles. We say things like, it's because of this person, or if only this situation were different, I would be fine, but these are just distractions. They keep us from asking ourselves the more difficult, yet necessary questions. Why did I react that way? Or what was going through my mind when I made that decision? Self-awareness requires you to step into a place of reflection and honesty. examining not just your actions, but the deeper drivers behind them, your fears, your insecurities, and your values. When you become self-aware, you start noticing patterns in your behavior. For example, you may realize that you avoid confrontation because you fear rejection or criticism, or you may discover that you procrastinate because you're afraid of failing. These patterns often go unnoticed because they operate beneath the surface, guiding our decisions and interactions in ways that are automatic. By bringing them into conscious awareness, you begin to understand why you act in certain ways and how those actions are either helping or hindering your personal growth. Once you understand these patterns, you can make intentional choices to break them and replace them with more positive behaviors. Self-awareness also extends to recognizing your strengths and weaknesses. While it's common to dwell on areas where we struggle, acknowledging your strengths is just as important. Many people don't realize how much potential they possess until they take a step back and assess themselves more deeply. It's not about being arrogant or boastful, but about being honest with yourself regarding what you excel at and how you can leverage those strengths to achieve your goals. On the other hand, being aware of your weaknesses allows you to address them head-on rather than letting them control you from the shadows. For instance, if you recognize that you struggle with time management, you can take proactive steps to improve in that area. Self-awareness empowers you to confront both your limitations and your capabilities with a mindset of growth and self-improvement. Emotions are powerful forces that influence our decisions, often in ways we don't fully comprehend. When you become self-aware, you begin to notice the emotions that arise in different situations. Are you angry when someone criticizes you, or are you feeling defensive because you feel inadequate? Are you anxious when facing new challenges, or do you thrive under pressure? These emotional reactions are not random, they are deeply tied to your core beliefs and experiences. Once you start to identify these emotions and their triggers, you gain control over them. Instead of being swept away by them, you can respond more thoughtfully and intentionally. Self-awareness also means understanding how your thoughts shape your reality. Often we think we are simply reacting to the world around us, but in truth, our thoughts create the lens through which we perceive the world. Like negative self-talk, for example, can skew your perspective and prevent you from seeing opportunities for growth. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, or that success is out of reach, you'll start to believe it. However, if you develop the ability to recognize and challenge these negative thoughts, you can change the narrative in your mind. This allows you to take more positive actions and believe in your own potential. The journey towards self-awareness is not easy. It requires courage and vulnerability. It requires facing the parts of yourself that are uncomfortable to look at, confronting your fears and insecurities, and being willing to change. Many people avoid this kind of introspection because it can be painful or challenging, but it is also deeply rewarding. The more self-aware you become, the more you are able to align your actions with your values, make better decisions, and create a life that reflects who you truly are. In essence, self-awareness is the key to unlocking your fullest potential, and it is the first step toward lasting transformation. It affects your relationships, your career, and your overall happiness. When you are more in tune with your own emotions and behaviors, you can relate to others in a more authentic and empathetic way. You become better at communicating, managing conflict, and building trust. Self-awareness enhances your ability to work effectively with others because you are aware of your own biases and limitations, and you are better equipped to understand where others are coming from. The more aware you are of yourself, the more present and engaged you can be in your interactions with others. Taking responsibility for your own life is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming others, the system, or circumstances for the struggles you face, but that mindset keeps you stuck in a cycle of helplessness and victimhood. When you take responsibility, you claim ownership of your choices, your outcomes, and your future. It is the key to unlocking the potential for change because when you own your situation, you gain the power to transform it. Responsibility is not just about acknowledging your actions, but also about accepting the consequences, good or bad, and making the conscious decision to move forward regardless of the challenges. The first step in taking responsibility is recognizing that you are not a passive participant in your life. Every choice you make, big or small, is shaping the course of your existence. It can be tempting to think of external forces, society, family, or past trauma as the root cause of your struggles, but the truth is, you are the one who decides how to respond to those forces. Life does not happen to you, you respond to life. By shifting your perspective from being a victim of circumstances to being an active participant in your own life, you take back control. This does not mean ignoring the reality of difficult situations, but it does mean accepting that you have the agency to make choices, even when those choices are tough. How many people struggle to take responsibility because it requires confronting uncomfortable truths? It's much easier to blame others, as this shifts the focus away from your own shortcomings. For example, you might blame your boss for not giving you a promotion, or you might blame your upbringing for not teaching you certain skills. While external factors can undoubtedly influence your situation, focusing on them as reasons for your struggles only limits your growth. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for someone else to change, and instead you begin looking inward to see what you can do differently. It's about asking yourself, what part of this situation can I control? How can I approach this differently? What steps can I take right now to improve my situation? This mindset shift is what separates those who are stuck from those who are moving forward. Taking responsibility also means acknowledging your mistakes and learning from them, rather than avoiding accountability or deflecting blame. Mistakes are a natural part of life, but they only become barriers to progress when you refuse to learn from them. If you constantly blame others for your setbacks, you will never grow. Growth comes from understanding why things didn't work out the way you expected, and then adjusting your approach. Owning your mistakes means asking hard questions like, what could I have done differently? Why did I make that decision? What did I learn from this experience? These questions lead to insight, and that insight is what allows you to improve. The more willing you are to embrace responsibility for both your successes and failures, the quicker you will advance in life. Being responsible is not about never making mistakes. It's about how you handle those mistakes and what you do afterward. It's about showing up and taking action even when things don't go according to plan. Many people avoid taking responsibility because they fear failure or feel inadequate when they fall short. But avoiding responsibility keeps you in a state of inaction, paralyzed by fear. In reality, no one is perfect, and success is built on a series of mistakes, adjustments, and improvements. The willingness to take responsibility, even in the face of failure, is what leads to long-term success. Taking responsibility also involves making conscious decisions rather than just reacting to life. So often, we fall into patterns of mindless reaction. We react to our emotions, to situations, or to other people's actions, without ever stopping to think about the best course of action. When you take responsibility, you pause and make deliberate choices. For instance, if you're unhappy with your job, you might blame your boss or your coworkers. But when you take responsibility, you recognize that you have the power to make changes, whether that means having a conversation with your boss, seeking out new opportunities, or developing new skills to improve your career prospects. When you choose to take responsibility, you stop letting life just happen to you and begin creating the life you want through your decisions. When you take responsibility for your actions, you are essentially affirming your value and your ability to shape your life. It shows that you believe in your capacity to influence your circumstances and that you trust yourself to make choices that align with your goals. Taking responsibility is a declaration that you are not a passive observer of your life, but an active creator of it. It's an act of self-respect as you acknowledge your power to change your circumstances. When you consistently make responsible choices, you build confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Taking responsibility enables you to set boundaries and prioritize your well-being. When you take ownership of your actions, you become clear about what you will and will not tolerate. You no longer allow others to dictate your choices, and you no longer allow situations to unfold without your input. You understand that in order to be the best version of yourself, you must take responsibility for your physical, emotional, and mental health. This might mean saying no to things that drain your energy or setting firm boundaries with people who do not respect you. By taking responsibility for your needs and well-being, you empower yourself to live authentically and make decisions that align with your true self. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience, and it plays a major role in holding us back from achieving our fullest potential. It often keeps us locked in our comfort zones, limiting our growth, and preventing us from stepping into opportunities that could lead to greater success. The comfort zone is where things feel safe and predictable, but it is also where growth stagnates. The longer we stay in this zone, the more we reinforce the belief that stepping outside of it is too risky or dangerous. This fear of the unknown, fear of failure, and fear of the consequences of change keeps many people stuck in situations that no longer serve them. To truly grow, we must confront this fear head-on and learn how to push beyond the boundaries of our comfort zone. The comfort zone is familiar and the unknown is unpredictable, which triggers fear. But what many people fail to realize is that the unknown is where the opportunities for growth lie. It is outside of our comfort zones that we encounter new experiences, learn new skills, and expand our capabilities. When we stay within our comfort zone, we are essentially opting for a life of complacency, avoiding the discomfort that comes with trying new things. Yet, true fulfillment lies in pushing past that initial fear and discomfort and embracing new challenges. Fear often manifests in many different forms: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. Fear of failure, in particular, paralyzes people from taking risks. People are often afraid to try something new because they are terrified of failing or making mistakes. This fear stems from the belief that failure reflects negatively on their worth as a person. The truth, however, is that failure is an essential part of the learning process. It is a stepping stone to success, and those who achieve great things often have numerous failures behind them. It is not failure that should be feared, but rather the failure to try. By recognizing that failure is not the end, but a necessary part of the journey, you can begin to view fear as a motivator rather than an obstacle. Many individuals avoid putting themselves out there because they worry about how others will perceive them. Whether it's applying for a job, pitching an idea, or expressing your opinion, the fear of rejection can create a barrier between you and the opportunities that lie ahead. The fear of being judged or dismissed by others often prevents people from pursuing their dreams, leading them to live small, confined lives. However, rejection is something that everyone faces at some point, and it is not a reflection of your value. Rejection is simply a part of life, and it does not diminish your worth as a person. Learning to embrace rejection as feedback rather than a personal failure is a crucial step in overcoming this fear. The fear of judgment is another aspect that keeps people confined to their comfort zones. This fear often arises from the desire to please others or live up to societal expectations. People may avoid taking risks or pursuing unconventional paths because they fear how others will perceive their actions. They may be afraid of being seen as foolish, incompetent, or out of place. But the reality is that judgment is inevitable. No matter what you do, there will always be someone who has an opinion. The key to overcoming this fear is to stop seeking validation from others and instead focus on your own values and goals. When you base your actions on your own vision for your life, you no longer feel the need to live up to someone else's standards. Instead of allowing fear of judgment to dictate your choices, you begin to make decisions that align with your true self. The fear of the unknown is often the most paralyzing of all. It is not just the fear of failure or rejection, but the fear of stepping into a situation where the outcome is uncertain. The fear of not knowing what lies ahead can prevent people from pursuing new opportunities or embarking on new adventures. This fear is rooted in a lack of control, as the future is always uncertain. But the fear of the unknown can be managed by focusing on the present moment and taking one step at a time. Rather than trying to predict every outcome, it is important to trust yourself and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. When you stop overthinking the future and embrace the uncertainty, you allow yourself to move forward with more confidence. To break free from fear, it is important to shift your perspective on discomfort. Discomfort is often seen as something to avoid, but it is actually a signal of growth. When you feel discomfort, it means you are pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone and moving towards something greater. Every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you expand your capabilities and increase your tolerance for uncertainty. This discomfort is not a sign to retreat, but an invitation to keep going. Over time, as you face your fears and take risks, you will build resilience and confidence. What once seemed terrifying will become manageable, and the possibilities for growth will seem limitless. You may not have all the answers or know exactly how things will turn out, and that's okay. What matters is that you are willing to take the first step. The most successful people are those who take action despite their fears, who move forward even when they don't have all the answers. This willingness to step into the unknown is what ultimately leads to personal growth and success. Our minds are constantly at work, and sometimes it feels like our thoughts are in control of us, dictating how we feel and how we act. We often hear that thoughts become things, and there is deep truth to this. The thoughts we entertain consistently shape our perceptions, beliefs, and actions. If our thoughts are negative, we begin to see the world through a pessimistic lens, which limits our potential and keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. On the other hand, positive, constructive thinking can open doors, increase confidence, and inspire action. Learning to manage and control your thoughts is a powerful skill that can change the trajectory of your life, empowering you to take charge of your destiny rather than being swept along by your automatic, unfiltered mind. The majority of the time, we are unaware of the thoughts running through our minds. They come and go, often in rapid succession, without us taking the time to pause and notice them. This lack of awareness allows negative thoughts to go unchecked, which can lead to anxiety, stress, and feelings of helplessness. Mindfulness, the practice of being present and observing your thoughts without judgment, is a powerful tool for increasing awareness. By developing mindfulness, you can begin to catch negative or limiting thoughts as they arise. This creates the opportunity to challenge them, question their validity, and replace them with more empowering, constructive thoughts. Reframing involves looking at a situation or belief from a different perspective. For example, if you make a mistake at work and begin to think, "I'm terrible at this, I'm going to fail." Reframing that thought might look like, "This is a learning opportunity. Everyone makes mistakes, and this will help me improve." Reframing helps you break free from the automatic negative thoughts that often arise in difficult situations. Instead of succumbing to feelings of inadequacy or defeat, you can train yourself to see challenges as opportunities for growth. This shift in mindset allows you to approach life's difficulties with a sense of optimism and resilience rather than fear and dread. It is also important to realize that not all thoughts are valid or true. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it's an accurate reflection of reality. Our minds have a tendency to exaggerate or distort the truth, especially when we are under stress or dealing with fear. For instance, the thought, "I will never be good enough," might arise when you're facing a challenge. However, this thought is not a fact, it's a belief rooted in fear or insecurity. By questioning the truth behind your thoughts and seeking out evidence to the contrary, you can weaken their power over you. If you ask yourself, "What evidence do I have that supports this thought, and what evidence contradicts it?" you begin to see your thoughts for what they are: just mental constructs, not absolute truths. This realization allows you to challenge negative thoughts and choose more empowering beliefs. When you visualize yourself succeeding, you are training your brain to focus on success rather than failure. This mental rehearsal strengthens neural pathways associated with the desired outcome, making it more likely that you will take the necessary actions to achieve your goals. Visualization also helps to reduce anxiety and fear as it allows you to mentally prepare for challenges. By regularly visualizing your success, you align your thoughts and emotions with your goals, creating a powerful mindset that propels you forward. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and the environments you inhabit all play a role in shaping your thinking. If you are constantly exposed to negativity, whether it's from pessimistic friends, toxic news cycles, or social media, it can be challenging to maintain a positive and focused mindset. To regain control over your thoughts, consider the influence of these external sources and take steps to limit or remove negativity from your life. Surround yourself with people who inspire and uplift you. Seek out positive and educational content and create environments that foster growth and positivity. The more you protect your mind from negativity, the easier it becomes to maintain control over your thoughts and focus on what truly matters. The practice of gratitude is also incredibly powerful in shifting your mindset and controlling your thoughts. Gratitude helps you to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. When you regularly practice gratitude, you train your mind to notice the positive aspects of your life, which in turn shifts your overall outlook. Rather than dwelling on problems or challenges, you begin to focus on the blessings, no matter how small, that surround you. This shift in perspective can have a profound effect on your mental state, helping to reduce stress, anxiety, and negative thinking. Gratitude also increases resilience, as it fosters a sense of abundance and appreciation for life's ups and downs. To truly control your thoughts, consistency is key. Just as you wouldn't expect to build muscle after one workout, you won't change your thinking overnight. It requires regular practice and commitment. But with persistence, controlling your thoughts becomes second nature. You will begin to notice a shift in how you perceive yourself, your circumstances, and the world around you. As your thoughts become more aligned with your goals, you will find that you make better decisions, take more confident actions, and create the life you desire. One of the most critical aspects of personal growth and success is the ability to embrace discipline and consistency in your actions. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle often lies in their ability to show up consistently, even when it's not easy or convenient. Discipline is about doing what you need to do when you need to do it, whether or not you feel like it. It's about developing the habits, routines, and mindset that propel you towards your goals, regardless of the obstacles or distractions that may arise. Consistency, on the other hand, is the practice of maintaining that discipline over time. Together, discipline and consistency form the foundation of success, as they provide the structure and persistence needed to overcome challenges, stay focused on your goals, and ultimately achieve lasting results. The first thing to understand about discipline is that it's not something that comes naturally to most people. It's easy to assume that some individuals are simply born with more willpower or self-control, but the truth is that discipline is a skill that can be developed over time. Like any skill, discipline requires practice, commitment, and the willingness to push through discomfort. Initially, it can feel difficult to stay disciplined, especially when you're not seeing immediate results or when distractions arise. But discipline is about making a commitment to yourself, to your goals, and to the future you want to create. It's about taking action even when the path ahead seems uncertain or challenging. Vague goals such as "I want to be successful" or "I want to get fit" are too broad to provide clear direction. Instead, discipline thrives on clear, actionable objectives that can be broken down into smaller, manageable steps. For example, instead of setting a goal like "I want to lose weight," set a goal like "I will exercise for 30 minutes, 5 times a week, and eat at least 5 servings of vegetables a day." This specificity gives you a concrete plan of action and something measurable to work toward. With clear goals in place, you can create daily habits and routines that support those goals, which is where discipline comes into play. When you know exactly what you need to do and why you need to do it, it becomes easier to stay disciplined. Even with clear goals, the ability to follow through consistently can be a challenge. This is where the concept of habit formation becomes crucial. Discipline is most effective when it is rooted in strong, positive habits. Habits are behaviors that are repeated so often that they become automatic. When you make a behavior habitual, you no longer need to exert as much willpower or energy to do it. For example, brushing your teeth every morning is a habit that requires very little thought or effort. It's a routine that is ingrained in your daily life. The same principle can be applied to your goals. The more you practice a particular behavior, such as exercising, reading, or working toward a professional objective, the more it becomes a natural part of your routine. Over time, consistency becomes second nature, and the discipline you once had to consciously exert becomes an automatic part of your life. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise that test your resolve. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go according to plan or when you experience failure. However, discipline is not about avoiding obstacles, it's about persisting in spite of them. When setbacks happen, it's important to keep the bigger picture in mind. Just because you face a temporary failure or obstacle doesn't mean that your efforts are in vain. Successful people understand that obstacles are simply part of the process and that perseverance is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up. Instead of seeing setbacks as a reason to quit, they view them as learning experiences that provide valuable insights and opportunities for growth. In today's fast-paced, information-driven world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, emails, text messages, and countless other interruptions can pull your attention away from your priorities. Maintaining discipline means protecting your focus and resisting the temptation to be sidetracked by these distractions. This requires creating an environment that minimizes distractions, setting aside specific times for deep work, and committing to staying present in the moment. Time management skills are crucial here. Allocating specific blocks of time for particular tasks ensures that you stay focused and productive rather than letting your attention wander or procrastinating. It's also important to understand that discipline doesn't mean rigidity or inflexibility. Life is full of unexpected events and changes, and being overly strict with yourself can lead to burnout or frustration. Discipline is about finding balance and creating a routine that supports your well-being, not just your goals. For example, it's important to allow yourself rest and recovery when needed. Burnout often occurs when people push themselves too hard without taking the necessary breaks. Consistency doesn't mean you have to be perfect every single day. It's about showing up regularly, even if you're not performing at your best. The key is to get back on track quickly when you do face a setback, rather than using it as an excuse to quit altogether. One of the most motivating factors for staying disciplined and consistent is the sense of progress that comes with consistent action. Every small step you take toward your goal adds up over time, and the more consistent you are, the more momentum you build. It's important to celebrate small wins along the way, as these successes provide motivation to keep going. For instance, if your goal is to write a book, celebrating the completion of a chapter, or even a few pages can help keep you inspired and motivated. Consistent action, no matter how small, leads to significant long-term results. Over time, you will look back and realize how much progress you've made simply by sticking to your routine. Ultimately, the ability to embrace discipline and consistency is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall short. It's easy to get excited about a goal in the beginning, but staying committed and taking consistent action over the long term is what leads to real success. Discipline gives you the strength to stay focused and persistent, while consistency ensures that your efforts compound over time. By developing the discipline to stick with your goals, even when it's difficult, and maintaining the consistency to follow through, you unlock the power to create the life you want. It's not about being perfect every day, it's about showing up consistently, doing the work, and making steady progress. With discipline and consistency, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to.